Well, boys and girls, how are you doing? I hope it's rum o'clock for you right now. It certainly is for me. Um, I have, like I've been saying in my previous videos, which I'm sure you've watched. Why wouldn't you? I have put an addition on the basement, which now we call the Sanctuary, aka Steve's Lube Lab. And in keeping with the theme of that, I'm getting lube dispensers strewn about, so I don't have to constantly be going to grab some for people now for our Twisters Sundays, which was postponed this last Sunday as we paid homage to one of the greatest lube twister players of all time from the Mornville Moist Bottoms, uh, Gertrude Langenberry. She passed away, unfortunately, a couple of weeks ago, and we thought we would take the time to pay homage to her. Lots of love to you, dear. Anyways, we are on to the Vancouver Canucks. And the Vancouver Canucks are actually a fairly exciting team right now. Um, if you're a Vancouver fan, maybe not so much. But for the things that they're going to be doing in the future, there's going to be a lot of movement, and that's exciting. That's fun. The for the trade deadline, if I'm the one running things, and I certainly am not, I would probably be looking at trading Yannick Hansen. I know I hate to say that because I love the guy, and I know you guys love him there too. He's been a good soldier, but it's time to rebuild. And right now, I think it's possible you could get a first rounder for him, assuming that that team that you trade him to is able to protect him past this year. And that's the rub. That's a little difficult to find to be able to do that. I think if I remember correctly, Pittsburgh might be able to, and they would certainly be good for that. Maybe the Edmonton Oilers, and I would love to have them for sure. The other definite trade I'd be looking at is Edler. He's got a couple more years left at 5 mil. He's going to be a tough trade though because he has term, and he is going to have to work under somebody's cap. The one team that might take a stab at him would be Ottawa Senators. The Ottawa Senators, I know, are a budget team, but they desperately need defense. And if you're able to take a little bit of money back, which Vancouver is, and they also would need a player to expose at the draft. As it is right now, actually, Yannick Hansen is probably the player that you're going to expose. So, and if you trade him and bring back another player from Ottawa that is not exempt from it, then you could expose those players instead of other players that you might have to expose. Then you could also keep Biega or Gudbranson, and honestly, I would take Biega over Gudbranson. I'm not a big Gudbranson fan. I know in Florida they were really upset they traded him, but I completely understand why they did. A lot of players, like say Gardner, for instance, in Toronto, get a lot of flack because they call them turnover machines. But if you actually watch the game, they move the puck more often than not. But the way they move the puck is not necessarily straight up the boards. They move the puck in many different ways. And in doing so, sometimes they get caught and they look like turnover machines. But a guy like Gudbranson will constantly pound it around the boards all the time. And it may or may not do anything, and then it'll go over to the other team, and nobody thinks twice about it because Gudbranson just hit somebody in the corner. But honestly, he didn't really do much. His transition game is really bad, and in this day and age, that is not something you need on your team. Transition is pretty much everything. So I would, if you can work out some deals to keep him for your sixth and seventh, because he's up for a new contract, and he's willing to take money in that area. Okay, sure, there is a role for him. Fourth line, playing against fourth line players, stuff like that. But I wouldn't be playing him in your top four at all. If you're playing Goodbronson in your top four, you're not doing very well on defense. Of course, there's Miller, and for sure you have to trade him as well. And that's another player that you can use to get some players that you can expose on the drafts, so you don't have to expose other ones. Miller, in this market now, I don't know. It's hard to say. There's not too many teams looking for goaltenders right now, unfortunately. At least ones that are going to be in the playoffs. Dallas would be your best bet, and they're not really close. And Winnipeg is making a bit of a push. Maybe maybe the Flyers, they're also making a bit of a push, or the New York Islanders if they don't think Grease is going to be their number one. Grice is going to be their number one. I would think maybe the Flyers might be able to give up a little bit for him if they're willing to. I mean, Miller has been playing very well. It's kind of gone kind of under the carpet there because he is in Vancouver and they're not doing very well as a team, but he has been playing well. Besides that, you're looking at I think your organization, your owners and everything have I think it was more the owners than it was Linden, have wrapped their head around the idea that they are in a rebuild mode, which is good for you guys because you guys need a rebuild there. It doesn't have to be huge. You actually I've been kind of hard on Linden and those guys because of some of the guys they brought in, like Goodbranson, and Sutter actually is not as good of a player as he looks on the ice. His possession numbers are really bad, but from the blue line in, he's not bad. But he has made some really good moves, like Granlund. Granlund, I didn't think Granlund was as good as he was watching him in Calgary, but he has really improved in Vancouver. And they also have that stretcher kid that they just come up who looks really good. They have some actual really good youth already, and your rebuild probably won't be as bad as you think it is. Like I said, for the trade deadline, I'd be looking at moving Miller and Hansen and who else did I say? Oh, you'll know. I can't remember who else it was. Miller, Hansen, and Edler. Yes, those guys have got to go. If not at the trade deadline, but in the summer, which, by the way, is where you're going to see most of the moves this year. You're probably going to see a pretty late trade deadline. I've been going over the expansion stuff that they have to go through to make a trade, and it gives me a headache, honestly. And I'm just doing it for fun. It definitely complicates things. Anyways, Vancouver fans, I think good things are on the horizon for you. I hope so, because I'd like to see you guys get some success. That's my full 42 for you today. I'll see you next time. Lots of love to you.